This BMW was crushed. Front, rear, and a whole bunch of things in between. But here's a twist. This is my very first attempt at rebuilding a crash-damaged car. The goal? To bring it back to life and flip it for the profit.
It's a 2008 BMW E87 with just 143,000 km on clock, which is not bad at all for a car of its age. In the last episode we tackled the front-end damage and got it looking sharp again. If you haven't seen it yet, click the link at the top.
Now it's time to deal with the rear. Let's make this BMW great again. It's bumper change time.
In the last episode, I picked up a pair of bumpers from a local scrapyard at a bargain price. They needed some cleaning and polishing, but nothing too major. Now I'm getting started by removing the lower screws that hold the bumper in place.
Right, the bottom screws are out, so now the hardest ones are 3 screws on each side of the bumper. As I said, it's harder to get it because of the wheel, but still try it. Here are the side screws, one at the bottom, one in the middle, and one right here. After this, in theory, there should be no screws whatsoever. Last screw out. Let's take the bumper off. To take it off, just unclip it. Be careful to not break anything. And now we just need to disconnect these 2 wires that go to license plate light.
Now I'm reconnecting the license plate light to the new second-hand bumper and starting to reassemble everything back together, just in reverse order.
I think I did a thing. The new bumper is on. Just look at it. Basically, the brand new second-hand bumper is on, except this bit. But it looks absolutely perfect, like a brand new car.
All that is left is to put the last screws back in and attach the license plate.
New battery! The old battery unfortunately is not suitable for this car, as I found out. It's smaller than it's required by manufacturers, that's why multiple systems such as start-stop doesn't work in this car, and currently I can't even start it because it's fully discharged. That's why I was required to buy this new battery. It wasn't on my plan list, however it was necessary and it was an extra expense, but hopefully it's gonna fix all the warning lights on dashboard. So let's put it in. So holder is off. So the holder is off. Yes. Here you go. Right, the new battery is in. As you can see, it's a bigger battery. It has 72 ampere hours, which means it can hold more energy and hopefully can also give more volts for the startup, and this will resolve some of our volts issues.
Hi there!
Before we continue the battery job, I have a small favor to ask you for. If you're enjoying this content, please consider subscribing to my channel. My goal for now is to continue flipping the cars until I can afford my dream ride. Thus, every single new subscriber truly matters for me. Therefore, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much, and let's go back to the video. We're done here, but we're not done with the whole process because we still need to register this new battery in the ECU. So let's go to the front and do it now. Let's plug it in OBD port. Yep. Yeah, many lights are there. I'm gonna try to reset it later on, but for now let's focus on battery reset. Register battery change. Okay. Alright, so I think I just did it. Let's check it one more time. Yes, as you can see, last battery replacement was done at this amount of kilometers, and here is the same. So it was successful. Nice. The next job will be to change the braking pads on rear axle. The reason for this is because they're worn out, and we also got a sensor warning on the dashboard. That's why they need to be changed. Luckily, it's quite cheap to do it. So yeah, let's just do it. Next step will be to unscrew these two bolts on top and at the bottom, so the caliper can go off. We can remove the old braking pads, put the new one, and do the same thing but in reverse. After removing both bolts, I can now slide off the brake caliper. It's important not to let it hang by the braking line, so I'm placing it on a suspension arm for support. Now I can remove the old braking pads. Here we go. One is out. You can clearly see that it's almost gone. Let's take the second one out. Second one is out as well. It's also almost dead, so let's change it. Before we change it, make sure to properly clean this area as well as this one to ensure that the pads can slide freely. It's always good to use a bit of brake cleaner to clean it up. Here are our new pads. You can see the difference between the old one. It's quite significant. Before putting them on, make sure to apply a little bit of grease on these ears. Make sure it can slide nicely there. Ever to apply on this side as well. So goes the first one. Here you go. Done. Now we basically need to put the caliper on, but before we do it, we need to open the reservoir with braking fluid to make sure that there's enough space for liquid to go back, because we're gonna press the braking caliper back on. So when you press out the brake caliper, some liquid will go up, and because my container is completely full, we need to take a bit of liquid out. Because I don't have a syringe, I come up with idea to use this metallic tube and a bit of vacuum that I create with my finger, and hopefully it works. Here, it does. It will take a few hours, but at least it will get the job done. Right. To press the brake caliper back in, I'm gonna use a special tool from Amazon. Costs literally 20 euros, but you can use something that you have at home. And we're gonna use a key to push it back. Right, as you can see, fully pressed in. So now we can put it back on, screw it back together, and basically it's done. The process on the other side is almost exactly the same. The only difference is that you also need to replace the braking pad sensor there.
Don't forget to put back on the sensor and to close the braking reservoir. Alright, we have replaced rear braking pads as well as rear braking pads wear sensor. However, it's not fully completed until we update the computer in the car, because otherwise the system will still gonna think that we're having old braking pads. How to do it?
Start the car and wait until the time and temperature appears on the screen. Next, press and hold this button until the service menu appears. Use the joystick on the left stalk to scroll through the menu and find the rear pad option. Then press the BC button on the left stalk to initiate the reset and confirm it. Wait until the reset is finalized and it's basically job done.
Alright, another issue that I have is its warning light for reverse light. Apparently this car has two reverse lights, one from the right, one from the left. And if you're watching, it's probably the other way around, but never mind. The one from the right, this one, isn't working. And I bought some new ones, and I hope it's just a bulb issue, because otherwise it's gonna get complicated to fix it. Let's hope it's gonna be the bulb issue. So this is basically the back light unit, and as far as I understand, this is a reverse light because it's at the bottom. So let's take it out and change for a new one. It looks like it's fine, but still it gets an error. Hopefully the new one is gonna solve it. So here's a new bulb. Let's put it in. Alright, let's plug it in and put it in reverse and see if it works. Why the reverse light doesn't go? Please work. Yay! So the reverse light is working. Okay. Hopefully it was just a bulb issue. Let's put everything back on and check the error messages. Wow, it's a good thing there is no error on dashboard anymore, because every single time I started the engine and started the car, there was a warning light, so it's gone. I want to see it again. Hey, there's no warning lights. I'm so happy. There is finally a moment when there is no warning lights on this car. Unbelievable. Gonna connect the OBD port and check everything one more time, and just gonna erase any possible warnings because I took out the bulb and stuff like this. There are 0 error codes. I'm so happy about this. Finally, this moment is here. There's no codes on this car, so I'm confident that it's gonna pass MOT inspection this week. Alright, we are almost done with everything. However, I noticed that the profile of rear tires is really low. I'm gonna show you. As you can see, using my improvised measurement system, I can verify that there is only approximately 2 millimeters of tire protector left, which is definitely not enough for the car to pass a MOT inspection. That's why we're now driving to a tire repair shop, and we're gonna swap the rear tires for some used ones, but which has a better profile, so that the next owner of the car can still legally drive it and feel safe on the road. Just been to local tire dealer, swapped the rear 2 tires, and now we have brand new second-hand tires at the back, which are much better than the previous ones. Let's check it out. We got 2 Dunklon Sport Blue responsive tires, and let's check the depth again. So we have basically 5 millimeters. This moment is here. It's time to clean out this writing, which symbolizes that this car is from salvage yard. And I use some brake cleaner and a bit of water. Yay! Now it's basically a brand new car. So, brought the car to MOT inspection. Hopefully it passes it. Let's see.
A few moments later.
Alright guys, I received a call that the car has been inspected and was successfully approved. I'm very happy to receive this result. As you can see, it's approved, because it means that everything that we did on the car was correct and it's ready to go to the next owner. Well done to me.
After I gave the car a good clean, and here is the final result. It looks beautiful, but let's see how much it costs to fix it up. The new battery was 131 euro. Brake pads and sensor was another 30 euros. High pressure fuel sensor 20 euros. Reverse light 6 euros. Car detailing, a bit expensive, 120 euros. MOT inspection 48 euros. That's 335 euros for second part, bringing the total so far to 3,675 euros. What a journey, guys! I cannot believe that I managed to successfully rebuild this car. This is my very first crash damage car, as I mentioned many times, and I'm extremely proud how it turned out. It literally looks like a brand new car, it smells like a brand new car, and I'm just very happy that one BMW is brought back on the road. But now it's a bit of a sad moment, because I actually need to sell it to make some profit on it, but it will always be in my heart as the first crash damage car that I rebuilt. But for now, thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe, leave some comments, and there will be more projects to come. So see you next time. Bye.